Hi, today we're talking about intimacy in marriage. Intimacy in marriage is something that means two really close together. Some people confuse intimacy for sex, but not necessarily sex. Okay, you can be intimate with someone they are not having sex with because you discuss deep things, you have close relationship. It may not be sexual, it may just be good friends. So for intimacy in marriage, we're talking about bringing your whole being into that marriage. Some people get married, okay, in bed we have sex, that's where our marriage stops. But other people think, yes, we can get married, but you don't know about my finances. So you're not intimate financially, but you're intimate in body, as in sex matters and other things. Some people are intimate, yes, in sex and finance, but they're not intimate in communication, especially for those who are married to people that are not their friends. It's different. Marriage to your friend is different from marriage to your spouse. If you are married to your friend and then you see you are close, you discuss, everything seems to be going smoothly because with friendship, there's a lot of communication. So communication is part of intimacy. So in intimacy in marriage, we talk about bringing your whole being into that marriage. The fullest and most enduring kind of marital intimacy is the kind that involves the entirety of your being, your spirit, your soul, your body into that marriage. Now, we'll talk about spiritual intimacy. As in our relationship with God, marital intimacy begins with spiritual intimacy. It is tied to that great mystery Paul talked about in Ephesians chapter 5, when he talked about a man becoming one flesh with his wife. It is spiritual, it also physical. Then soul intimacy is that aspect of you that is made up of your mind, your will, and your emotion. So in marriage, you have to be intimate in your soul. That is your mind, your will, emotion. You are close to that person. It could be called emotional intimacy, romantic intimacy, intellectual intimacy, because it has to do with your mind, your will, and your emotion. I think all of our three source components are part of the equation here. Commonly, people describe it as being soulmates, okay? But I want to assure you that there's nothing like soulmates in marriage. Because if you start saying, I want my soulmate, it means that if somebody misses his soulmate in marriage, then the whole world is turned upside down. Do you understand? If I miss my soulmate and you miss your soulmate, it means that every other person will be marrying the wrong person. Okay. So, what we mean here is that when you become married, your intimacy should include an emotional, a will, and mental decision to be faithful to that person. That's what we mean by emotional intimacy. And then physical intimacy is mainly about sex, the affirmative touch, the hugging, the kissing, the massaging, and all other aspects that has to do with joining our physical bodies together. Holding hands, playing, romancing, even cooking, doing house chores together. Those are what we call physical intimacy, okay? Now, the intimacy chain, there's a logical progression of in these areas. Yeah, in marriage, your intimacy chain should grow like this. From spiritual intimacy to soul intimacy becomes a fertile ground for lasting physical intimacy. And this leads to an enduring pact in marital intimacy. Spiritual intimacy, you believe the same things, you serve the same God, you have the same faith. Soul intimacy, emotionally, you are compatible with Him. In your mind, in your will, you are compatible with Him, and this leads to a fertile ground for physical intimacy. So your sexual, physical, and all that will now be together. Now, what is genuine intimacy? Genuine intimacy simply means that they were both naked and they were not ashamed. Yeah, to be intimate means to be naked and not be ashamed. Like what the Bible says about Adam and Eve. They were both naked and they were not ashamed. Genuine intimacy comes from being fully known and completely loved. You know me fully, you know my faults, you know my good sides, you know my downsides, yet you love me completely. Now, why do people have problems in their marriage? They have problems because they have not spiced up that marriage. You need to spice up your marriage to make it really interesting and sweet. Now, what is spice? SPICE, spice. You need to spice up that marriage. Is it possible to be intimate in marriage without spice? No. It's not possible to be intimate in marriage without spice. What is spice?